People of the internet, welcome back to another video. It is I, Don Thomas, back in here with another one. As always, folks, the likes, the comments, the subscribes are all greatly appreciated. Thank you so much for the support on this channel. Without further ado, let's go ahead and dive into today's topic. And honestly, folks, like this one's it's kind of off the top today, man. I didn't really. So it's a couple things, man. I'm realizing I might have said this before in another video. On this channel, man, of course, as I've mentioned time and time before, you see the theme is philosophy, self-improvement, and the culture. Typically, of course, it's just reactions, news, my personal take on things of, that I feel like have some type of cultural relevance or some take-home value, essentially. And, of course, I have, when you have these YouTube channels, whatever the case is, they always tell you to, bunker down in your niche audience and, keep it to a minimum of, don't try to do a little bit too much of whatever the case is, yada, yada, yada. And all that is good and dandy. Like, I feel that there is definitely some logic and reasoning behind, really honing down on who your audience is, whatever the case is. Like, of course, for me, even just kind of starting this whole thing out, I don't know who that audience is. Right now, I'm just talking. Like, there's a lot of things I'm doing. Of course, it's backed in some type of logic, right? There's some type of rationale on why I choose to hit record and upload these videos weekly, monthly, every whatever few days, whatever the case is. So it's just like there's logic. There's a method to the madness, as they say. But essentially, like I'm not a YouTuber, if that makes sense, in the sense of like I don't want to do things solely for the algorithm, bro. And like I said before, like yeah, it's like you gotta understand, like this YouTube thing, it's a tool. It's Google. It's a search engine, bro. Like YouTube, like they're gonna favor, of course, whoever is going to stick to their agenda, stick to their overall ideologies. It's a very safe space. So that's kind of been a challenge for me as well too with this channel in terms of just like, all right, what can I say that's within YouTube guidelines and that they won't shadow ban. If you're familiar with these terms, shadow banning, of course, I'm not even I'm aware that these things are possible. I'm not necessarily saying that's what's happening to me, but like I just don't know. I don't want to chase things just because I think YouTube's gonna favor this one. So I don't really care to do that. Everything that you see me speak on this channel is because I genuinely felt on speaking on it. There's a lot of things that I haven't even covered. Perfect example, like the whole Israel and Palestine. If you've noticed, I've not said a word. I haven't tweeted about it. I haven't made a video about it. It's because like I'm not knowledgeable in that area. There's a couple of things that, of course, I won't speak on because I simply just don't know. I don't know how it operates. I don't know how it functions. I'm not an expertise in any means of the sort. When it comes to certain areas, politics for one, sports, even like sports as well, to like a surface level for me. So it's like I'm not gonna sit here and come off as somebody who start speaking on things that I'm not knowledgeable of. Like no. So that's a thing as well too. Like man, I want to definitely get into a space where it's just like I'm more consistent and speaking on things that are relevant, like things that I feel like, man, you, the viewer, like you watched it and it's like, I bet I got some perspective from that. It's not you just didn't sit here and watch me rant about some random shit that has nothing to do with your life. Like, no, like I watched his video and I learned something, or I saw a different perspective, or at least I know a little bit more of how he himself thinks. Like, if anything, like there has to be take home value, bro. There's a billion things I could put my energy to if it was just for clicks and fun and games, bro. So just like that's just been a thing that's been messing with me a little bit, like in terms of wanting to have a consistent schedule in terms of these uploads, and then of course just speaking to things that matter, bro. So essentially that's gonna come with time. I think one of the means of me doing that is exactly this. So I think even all that to say, I think I even was starting the video off by saying like on this channel, speaking about philosophy, self-improvement, and the culture, I speak a lot and do a lot of reactions as of late, I should say, definitely, in terms of just like things that mainstream media is talking about, whatever the case is, of course, still trying to dissect some level of, philosophy or morality in terms of questions that one can ask from any of those situations. So it's just like that's been what I'm focusing on, but I do want to lean more on the self-improvement side. Because I mean, yeah, there can be, slithers of self-improvement, but I want to speak on things that can literally like, hey man, this is, an approach one could take. I'm not necessarily saying it's right or wrong, but here's a mindset or an approach somebody could embrace to really help them in a situation that they're going through, bro. So I realized, like, on the self-improvement side, of course, all of it, this is philosophy. So I feel like the umbrella is philosophy, of course, which is just the study of life, the study of, asking the big questions is essentially what philosophy is. I think that's going to be the, I guess the duality of this channel moving forward. It's just like, all right, yeah, okay, here's what's happening in whatever the case is. Again, if I feel like, in my personal opinion, there's take-home value, And then the other half of it is just the self improvement side, man. Things I'm currently going through. Almost like I don't want to call them journals, but kind of sort of, man. Like, hey, man, here's what I'm going through, or here's my thoughts for today, or here's what's something that's just a lot more casual because that's the whole sense of downtime. I'm chilling right now, like I'm chilling. Yeah, I do have to go somewhere, but I did want to just get this out because again, I think my last upload was 7 days ago. I do want to have some level of consistency, but I'm also trying to, buckle down on like quality over quantity. That's just how I live my life outside of this as well too. It's like quality over quantity, bro. So that's just the mindset. Yeah, man. So downtime, this channel is gonna conduct itself exactly as that, man. Just like, all right, he's either reacting to something that went viral in, the media or something that, maybe you weren't hip to. So maybe it didn't go viral, but on these internet streets, there's so many different stories, whether they're real or not. But there's a lot of different dialogues in different parts of the internet, depending on where your interest lies. So that's just my mindset. I think, of course, I'm always gonna do that. I'm still gonna do the reactions and like, what I'm saying, like the reactions, news, not politics, but news, things that are like in mainstream media, and then get another half of just like self improvement, man. Hey, man, here's what I'm going through, and it's not like it's this, one all exposing of truths or some type of journal, but at the same time there is a level of transparency that I'm willing to maintain because I myself as a consumer of YouTube videos appreciate people that are able to be transparent with their thoughts and their feelings and their emotions. We need more of that, man. We need more spaces where people are not afraid to speak their mind, where people are not afraid to say, hey, man, this is what's going on, and I'm not saying everybody needs to get in front of a camera and record themselves and hit upload. I'm definitely not saying that, but we need more outlets. We need more safe spaces where people can express themselves. So essentially that's all this is. I'm just expressing myself and choosing to hit record and upload, and again, maintaining a level of just like transparency and just like, a reality that I feel like a large percent of the internet is not, because the large percent of the internet is a facade. A large percent of the internet is hyperinflated egos. That's just what the case is. And I'm as somebody who tries to, as I say, keep the ego at bay as much as possible, man, I'm not doing that, bro. I'm not. I don't have to play that game. I don't have to scream and yell at you. Like that's the trend. Like, do a dance, scream or yell. What else? Say something that you know is gonna get people upset. Like, I don't gotta do that, bro. But if anything, like if I am going to be on this internet and hit and record, and I said, and hit and upload, there has to be some value, bro. I'm not about to do the most. So yeah, and that's to anybody who's a content creator, or anybody who is on these internet streets, man. Like, oh yeah, man, do what's comfortable for you. Like, do what. Yeah, there's if those of us who even plan to make it a business and monetize and this and the other, which to be completely honest isn't my main goal. Of course, I know something that is an alternative that it is possible. But I'm not here for the money. What? I always tell people, like, man, if you're looking for an alternative means of income, a second stream of income, third stream of income, I wouldn't rank YouTube so high on the list. It's a lot of work. If you're coming into YouTube, hey man, I'm trying to just get bread. Like, yeah, there's things that you could possibly do, but I mean, to each his own. I'm not here to knock the hustle, but for me personally, definitely it's just like I'm not necessarily worried about, oh man, I need to. Nah. But yeah, so all that to say, man, that's the vibes. That's the energy I'm on right now, man. This is more so a rant, and maybe this is just, a depiction of, the style and context of how videos will be moving forward. Like, because I don't care to always speak on things that are on the internet and, culturally, things that make the headlines in mainstream media don't necessarily transpire, don't really pique my interest. Again, if I'm not knowledgeable on it, or simply just don't care about it, then you won't see me speak on it or give my take unless asked, like, yo, man, what are your thoughts on this? And at that point, I'll either tell you, hey, let me go back and educate myself a little bit more, or I don't know, I don't have an opinion on this subject. Literally, that'll always be my response. But again, man, if you, the viewer who's watching this, however far, little and few and far between, these people are, like, when you hit play and like at the end of how long you tend to stay on a video, if you watch through the whole end, that's on you, whatever the case is. But if anything, you catch a minute or a few seconds, I want there to be like, all right, cool. Like, I watched that and I now feel empowered. I now feel maybe a little bit more knowledgeable, or I now feel like I understand this guy a little bit more, or I now feel like there has to be some take home value, bro. Ask yourself right now, how many things do you watch that at the end of it, yeah, you maybe chuckled, but what did it do for your life? That's the point I'm trying to make. That's the point I'm trying to make. Like, in everything that you do, even outside of just like in everything that you do, make sure the ROI is pretty decent, bro. In anything that you give your time, money, or energy to. And I'm gonna end on this. Like, those are the three main forms of currency: your time, your money, and the energy that you exude on certain activities, man. The energy that you're willing to give, the physical energy that you're willing to give. Those are the three most purest forms of currency that I know, that I operate on. So it's just like, if I'm giving my time, if I'm paying my time to watch anything, engage anything, what are the cases, like, I would hope that at the end of it, you feel me? Like, and that's why I'm very mindful of things I watch, things I listen to, people I communicate with, what are the cases. It's like, what is the return on investment, man? But that's a whole nother, that's a whole nother whatever. But anyway, that's the theme. That's the message in today's video, and there'll be others like it, man, and along with the reactions and reviews and things of that nature. So that's all I have. Thank you folks for tuning in. Greatly appreciated. I will catch you on the next one.